Welcome back to the 2019 Stafford Open, presented by Gatekeeper Media. This year's Stafford Open was driven by Innova Champion Discs, and it is at lovely Stafford Woods Disc Golf Course here in Voorhees, New Jersey. I want to give a big shout out this year to the volunteer crew at Stafford. You will see a lot of the fairways are mowed, manicured, and all the wooded fairways are mulched. Got to give a shout out to the woodpeckers. And here we go into the leaderboard.
Yeah, we have Sarah Hokom here at 4 down, Lisa Fajkus 3 down, Holly Finley sitting at +2, and Vanessa Van Dyken at +6. This is the final round, second day here at the Stafford Open. And, it's almost do or die here. They got one round left. They got to get their birdies when they can and get their pars when they can as well. So hopefully there'll be a little bit of a shifting, but we'll see here. Up here first, we have hole 1, which is a par 3, 309-foot hole. Tightly wooded hole. You essentially want to, go as straight as you can. If anything, you want to kind of hyzer out to the right a little bit to leave yourself a better putt. We have Sarah Hokom here with her drive, sponsored by Team MVP.
Forehand's going to hit midway down the fairway, leave herself on the left side a little bit. Here we have Lisa Fajkus, Team Innova.
Nice flat release by Lisa. Just hit that middle tree. Holly Finley, sponsored by Team Innova as well. Great drive. Nice straight down the middle. Exactly what you want.
That's what this hole calls for. Straight. If you're going up that left side, it needs to stay straight. Here we have Vanessa Van Dyken.
Team Discraft sponsored. Throwing her first drive of the day.
Early left a little bit.
Vanessa setting up here for her upshot. This one, she really kind of just wants to get through the trees, get as far as she can to line herself up for a putt. And she did just that. Great upshot by Vanessa. She should have a 10-foot putt for an easy 3.
Lisa lining up, got to throw it straight down a very tight gap. It's about 7 feet wide down there, the closer you get.
Hokom with a forehand shot.
Lining up the angle she wants to put it on.
You could tell she uses her left arm to kind of help her just line up where she wants to go.
And that's right where it went.
What a beautiful day here for day 2. I hear there's a good pork lunch coming afterwards as well, right?
We did make some food for the players. Looks like Lisa's laying up a really good shot there.
Yeah, almost made it. Holly has to straddle a little bit around those trees. Gorgeous upshot.
Gave herself a chance for the birdie, leaving it inside of makeable range there. Vanessa lining up for what would be a very good up and down from that early drive.
Great putt. That is a great save par for Vanessa. Way to start out the round.
Good composure.
Hokom lining up for her par. Nice.
Solid putt in the basket. With that upshot and that putt, she looks focused today.
I'm sure all these ladies are pretty focused and determined to make some moves. Final day, final round. You really have to be focused.
It's an A-tier the week after Women's Nationals. So a lot of them are taking a deep breath. And yet it's still an A-tier. And they're definitely putting their best out there. Holly finishing in for the par.
And I think there's a lot of added cash, too, as well to this event for the women's side. Correct, Adam?
We did. We added $1,000 to the ladies' purse of the discretionary money, hoping that a number of touring pros would come. And this year we had, I believe, 14.
Yeah, 14 or 15 total ladies that came. Yeah.
And we've got Lisa finishing in for the bogey, going into the second hole, 509-foot par 4, which is coming down the left side, and then it shapes up for a righty turnover. And then you go over this big down log, and it turns hard into the right, finishing into a pin.
Up first here, we have Sarah Hokom. This sets up nicely for her as a righty forehand. You really just kind of want to hyzer flip it straight just like she did and, have it land somewhere in the fairway. Even though she landed kind of on the left side of the fairway there, she should still have a good second shot. Holly with her drive. Great little turnover shot, fading out a little bit. She probably wanted that to turn over just a little bit more, but she still got good distance off the tee.
Vanessa's lining up her backhand shot. That starts turning over quite nicely. Looks like that's going to head down just beyond the left edge just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Very good shot. Got a good chunk of that hole out of the way on the first throw there.
Yeah. Lisa fourth off the tee. Now that's a great drive. She turned it over, just kicked a tree, landed on the left side of the fairway, but it was a great release. She really wanted to get that. Unfortunately, hit that tree. This second shot, like Adam said, in the preview, you really want to get over that down log and, turn it over towards the right. So this does set up a nice forehand for a righty. And she lands just behind the log, so she should still have a nice upshot towards the basket. Lisa there landed just behind some laurels. It looks like she's going to, really try to force a forehand over to get herself up toward the basket.
It does appear she's playing this a bit aggressive,
Yeah.
which is very well executed. Gets herself some distance. Should be looking right down the basket. Sarah putting the forehand up high and hitting a little bit early right. You can see Holly's legs there in the trees. She's in a little bit in the mountain laurels. She does well to get out to the fairway.
Yep, she was able to get herself out right by that log. She should give herself a Anheuser upshot towards the basket.
Which is executed pretty well. Should leave her right about circle's edge. Vanessa should be staring right down a nice straight shot. Leaving it just about circle's edge as well.
Yeah, one thing I really like about this course is that, you kind of have the 666 factor when designing the course. You have 6 holes that end to the right, 6 holes that end to the left, and 6 holes that kind of end straight. So, it really does tackle, every aspect of your game. And this is definitely one of those courses where I'm pulling out every disc in my bag. And when you have a course where you pull out every disc in the bag, it's a great course, in my opinion.
A lot of variety here. It certainly calls for all the shots. Mm-hmm. It's going to test every skill set a player can bring to the table with them.
Yeah. Right now, Holly is testing her putt skills outside the circle. Just hits the basket. See what Hokom can do here on her putt. Nice putt.
Sarah's finishing in for the par.
Yep. Par is a good score on the second hole.
Vanessa lining up hers.
Nice.
And she's in for her par.
Mm-hmm. Good straddle putt. I think for a lot of these ladies this year, it was their first time to the course. So they had a fair amount of practice after Women's Nationals only being 3.5 hours away from here. So I'm sure that allowed them enough time to kind of practice, get down their lines, because this is one of those courses that, you do want to practice to figure out, which disc you want to select for each shot.
And how aggressive you want to play.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the holes you can take a mid-range or a driver, and you need to find out where those landing zones are for each one of those different distances you're selecting.
Mm-hmm.
Holly's finishing in for the bogey. And it looks like Lisa's going to be tapping out as well here.
Yeah, so you see here, after hole 2, we have 2 pars and 2 bogeys. Pars and bogey on this hole is not a bad score at all. Here we have hole 3, a 313-foot par 3, first of our 2 pond holes. You want to kind of throw over that mound where the short tee is, go over the water, over this second mound, and land right there towards the basket. In this drone here, you see that the basket is level height. However, for the tournament purposes, it was an elevated basket. Sarah first off the tee with her drive. Has a nice turnover forehand shot. Should fade out nicely.
She's going to finish just under the trees on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Vanessa lining up her backhand here. And that looks to be the shot that this hole calls for.
Yeah.
A flat to hyzer backhand righty, finish right up against that down tree, leaving yourself a look at it for birdie.
Mm-hmm.
Very well executed throw.
Holly with her drive. Again, a nice, that's all you need here on this hole. You just need a nice, easy, simple hyzer shot. Get it through this first tunnel of trees on this far side, on the near side of the basket, just like Lisa did, and then just have a hyzer nice right in. And even when this basket's elevated, you almost want to leave yourself a little bit further away to allow yourself to get into the basket. But based on the wind here, it looks like Hokom might have a slight tailwind.
And she made a smart play there. Running that from 60 feet out is going to leave you a tough headwind putt back at it. Lisa appears to be doing the same. Give it a half a go, not leave it too far away.
Knowing Holly, she's going to give it a go. And she does.
She does. She runs it chain high. Looks like it tickled him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. See, I think Vanessa left herself a perfect amount of space between her and the basket. Leave herself a nice putt. Which,
chained out left.
That was a great putt by Vanessa. It's unfortunate it did not stay.
It's tough with this elevated basket, and this is just past the pond out into the field. This can be windy or not, depending upon the day.
Mm-hmm.
Holly with her comeback for par.
Just misses.
Tickles chains a little bit there.
And day 1 and day 2 here for the Stafford Open, it was relatively windy. Anytime you do have open holes at Stafford, there is wind, but this weekend was, slightly more windy than usual. But we had 2 beautiful days, we must admit. Again.
Chains are not treating Holly too good on this hole right now.
Yeah. We'll have Hokom for her par putt. Again, even at this short a distance, you still want to do your routine. Keep the muscle memory down.
Hokom going par, par, par to start the day. Coming in at 4 down, sitting that way.
Lisa making a nice easy putt from there. +2 right now after 3. And Holly is +3 right now after 3 holes.
And welcome back to the 2019 Stafford Open. We're on the 4th hole, which is a 558-foot par 4, which shapes up with a slight righty hyzer off the tee, pinching off in the fairway to where it gets a little bit narrow there, coming into another righty hyzer where you want to approach the green from the right side, right over top of all the volunteers that were playing the day before the tournament. Here's Hokom setting up for her forehand shot.
This is another hole that sets up well for a righty. And even a righty forehand, just like Sarah did, that's all you need. These are 2 placement shot, on this hole. A good drive, nice, you don't even need to overpower it at all. Just a nice straight drive up, and then another righty hyzer up towards the basket. You know, Vanessa goes a little bit straight, but she will still fade out, and it still leaves her a great shot up towards the basket.
Lisa's throwing her backhand. Looks like she really laid into that one. And she gets around behind that tree and going to finish strongly in the grass in the short stuff.
Yeah, and as you can see, you know, by the grass, the wind is blowing out there. Holly hit an early tree, but still, it'll still leave her a righty hyzer shot. Sun is shining. Yep, just go under that tree, nicely right in the fairway.
That was a smart golf play.
Mm-hmm.
She could have played that more aggressively and brought all kinds of trouble into that hole.
Vanessa here for her second shot. Oh, that skips nicely. That leaves her probably right at the circle or just outside the circle for her birdie putt. Hokom with her second shot here. She's going to probably have to turn this over a little bit more for her in order, because it's going to fade out. So she's going to want to turn it over a little bit, which she did, and she is right under the basket. So you couldn't have played that hole any better than that.
That's a great second shot. Lisa playing the hyzer. Looks like she caught that last pine. Didn't quite make it to the opening.
Mm-hmm.
This is where Holly's last up shot put her in position to put a nice righty hyzer up that gap and leave herself in for a nice up and down for the par of which it appears she's going to execute, mm-hmm. with leaving herself a nice drop-in putt.
Mm-hmm.
Smartly played hole by Holly there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Lisa, outside circle.
She gave it a good run.
Yes, she did.
These ladies are very focused on every shot. I mean, you can tell they've been playing the game for a long time. They know what they do. They know how to do it, what disc to use. A little bit more oomph from Vanessa would have gone in, but still, be happy with a par.
Solid hole there.
Mm-hmm. I like this green. This is one of my favorite greens on the front nine. It just kind of comes back into the woods. It's almost like perfectly circled with the trees and the mulch and everything, and the basket's just perfectly centered.
Some courses and some property just lend themselves, and this was just a natural green. We didn't do anything to it. It was just there as is.
Mm-hmm.
As the ladies all finish out, we've got Sarah at -5, Lisa at -1, and Holly is in third. Coming into the fifth, it's 564-foot par 4, OB down the left and right side of the entire hole that wraps all the way around behind the basket, as you can see the white stakes in the background. This definitely calls for a controlled drive and a controlled upshot to keep yourself in bounds.
Hokom with birdie on the last hole. She's first to tee.
She's in the short grass inbounds.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you can even tell by our spotter, Brian Cox, you know, even holding up the flag, you could tell there's some wind out there. So you really have to figure out how you want to angle your disc and where you want to throw it. So Vanessa throws high and over the OB because you want to land yourself back in. And she landed perfectly on the fairway. The grass is pretty thick there, so it shouldn't really give too much skip and go out of bounds.
Got Lisa putting her backhand down.
She goes over the right side of the fairway a little bit more. But
Steady
still.
hyzer the whole way, right in the center cut.
Yep.
Very smartly played golf shot.
Mm-hmm. Holly up, last on the tee. Great drive.
Those are 4 well-controlled shots.
Yes.
4 for 4 in the fairway and a little bit of windy conditions. Very impressive golf off the tee.
Why do they even need a spotter? Cheering section.
Cheering section. Wow, that's a great shot. Rolling up to the pin. Leaving herself just inside the circle for a birdie putt. You can see the wind affecting.
Looks like Holly has some tailwind here, their second shot. So she's going to want to throw it a little bit higher. But get that skip. Probably has about 20 footer behind that large tree. And Vanessa's here for her second shot. Nice flat controlled release. Great shot. Go in.
That's a fantastic
Wow.
shot. Tapping in for the birdie.
Oh my God, these ladies played this hole so well. And this fairway is new this year, and for all four of these women just to execute it. Even with Lisa, you know, she turned it over just a little bit, but she's still there, and she's still right in bounds. So
Just
great
outside the
shots.
circle for her birdie putt.
Just misses. Yeah, Holly's going to have to straddle to the right of that tree.
Looked like stepping out was in her head.
Hokom focused on her birdie putt. Great putt.
Sarah, good hole there.
Yes. 2 birdies back to back.
That hole in the wind can certainly feel like it's 900 feet long on the tee.
Yeah. Especially if you go OB early. Luckily, none of these girls went OB at all, but I mean, majority of the time, if you're going OB, it's early, and then you're going to have that feel like the 900-foot hole.
We've got Lisa in for her par.
Holly also in for her par.
This is going to be Vanessa tapping in for her birdie.
What a great second shot here. After hole 5, we have 2 birdies and 2 pars. Hokom taking a significant lead right now by 5 strokes. As we're coming into the 6th hole here, it's a 571-foot par 4. There is OB on the right side with the tall grass, and also way far on the left, there is a fence that goes over into the farm. You want to have a really great shot down this open fairway, and then your second shot, you're going to want to punch into the woods a little bit here and leave yourself either right on the bottom of the mound or one of those lovely tiers. That basket pin position was built by all the volunteers here at Stafford Woods. Hokom with her first shot, turned that over a little bit, hit some trees, but still landed her out in the open in the fairway.
Vanessa, you've got lining up here. Looks like she's going to pull a backhand. She's got a lot of power on that. That's standing up and going to go a long way. And it looks like it's going to finish pretty well. You don't want to go into the wood line here. You want to leave yourself just outside of the wood line and on the left center of the fairway, so you've got the better look into the green, which is about where she landed.
Yeah. Nice rip by Lisa. And again, hits probably about the same tree. It's almost a good thing that they hit, those leaves, because it did stop them right in the middle of the fairway.
Holly playing a nice flat shot down there. That's going to finish strong.
Great recovery.
That's a really good shot. That's left of center, right where you want to be, but not in the wood line.
Hokom will have a little bit of a turnover. Probably a little bit too much there. But still, it's still open enough to where she can sneak around those trees for an easy upshot and in. Vanessa throwing a backhand. Depending on where I land on my drive, it determines on whether I throw a mid-range or a driver for my second shot. But that landed so nice, beautifully. She'll land herself right down at the bottom of that mound and should give herself an uphill putt for a birdie.
We've got Lisa setting up for her backhand here. Looks like she got over on it just a little bit. And it hits a tree to keep it inside the stakes in bounds.
Yep.
Holly's hugging this left edge here. Should leave her a backhand righty hyzer with a low ceiling. And it looks like she's headed right at the steps. Unfortunately, takes a hard kick. But that's kind of what you have to do here. You have to kind of lay it off of one of those tiers or lay it off the steps and hope it stays close to the wall to leave yourself a putt. Sarah lining up her upshot.
For a backhand upshot. And again, that's all you really need, as long as you can just land down at the bottom of the tiered wall, you'll leave yourself a fine putt.
Very well played by Lisa's keeping herself up on the top tier here. Holly's going to be putting this into what's traditionally a headwind that you can't feel from when you're putting, and looks like she just tickled the chains out.
Yeah, you can tell by the trees and the leaves in the background. There's definitely wind back there. And putting uphill, you really need to angle your disc at, the proper angle in order to get it in the basket, not go too high or too low. Sarah just nestled right there on that top tier. And Vanessa made
makes
it
a good
in.
putt. Birdie for her.
Yeah, she's playing great so far. 2 down after 6 holes. Good job by Vanessa. All these ladies will be going on, top of the hill. You'll see that lovely plaque right there on the tiered wall. This wall was donated to in memory of Dawn Sauce Kane, local legend here in Haddonfield, New Jersey. All the rest of the girls look like that they'll be putting out here. And we will be right back just after this commercial break, right after Holly putts out. Thank you so much for joining us. And after this commercial break, we'll be here for holes 7 through 9.
And welcome back to the 2019 Stafford Open. Here we are on the 7th hole. This is a 300-foot par 3 over the pond. The basket will be right there on the top of the wooded structure in A pin. Vanessa's lining up her drive. It's going to call for a righty backhand with a slight turnover over the water, which it looks exactly what she's thrown, and she appears to be walking it down. Let's hope it stayed in dry land over there. Looks like Dave Prue gave her the green flag.
Lisa for her drive. Oh, wow, that's a nice shot. Looks like it's going to fade a little bit to the left, but still a nice, easy, safe play. Leave herself a putt that goes towards the mound. Probably about 260 to 280 feet to clear the water. It really all depends on how high or low the water is at the time of year. Holly releases that a little early, but she has an amazing Anheuser shot. Hit the other side, but went back out of bounds. So she'll have to throw her second shot, throwing 3 from the drop zone. Sarah with a forehand shot, which this hole plays well. She turned it over just a little bit, but still a safe shot.
Not playing with those trees today.
That should give Holly her shot from the drop zone. She looks to put this one into the dirt right behind the basket. It's a good backboard right there.
Looks like Sarah's going to have an Anheuser putt towards the basket. Just misses. But she called the safe sign.
Yeah, giving a little body language. Just stay right there, please. Lisa lining up her birdie.
Great
She's
putt.
in for the 2.
She's, woo, I got that. Which is a great birdie putt. And again, where she was landing, even if she went past the basket, she has that mound to kind of stop her disc.
Vanessa's drive down at the bottom of the hill. She's probably going to throw it in between those 2 large trees over there. And she puts it up just behind the basket. It's Holly's 3rd throw in for the bogey with the penalty.
That's the thing with this hole, you can still make it over, and you could even hit, the wall where, the basket is. You could hit a tree and roll back in. So, it's one of those risk-reward holes, too, we keep on talking about. Vanessa missed her putt, fortunately in for the bogey.
Sarah's got the interesting straddle putt on the side hill. Gives her a lot to think about on a short putt here.
Which she makes, which is good.
In for the par. We've got Sarah at -5, Lisa at -2, Vanessa at +4. On the 8th hole, 354-foot par 4, which goes down a tight wooded line and then turns sharply hard to the left at about 200 feet, which is right about here where the drone turns. And then the green finishes into the left again, which is well protected by the large tree and the branches on the early left side. This really requires a precision drive, and depending upon how much you want to attack it, you can throw a driver and hyzer around the corner or a mid-range to the dog leg.
Let's see what Lisa does here. Throws a nice straight shot. Just nice glides and fades right in the center of the fairway. That's all you need.
Coming off the birdie on 7, it looks like she played that very smartly. Hokom's a little early in on the left.
I think whether you throw it straight down the middle or have a nice big hyzer shot, either way, it can set you up for an upshot to get the birdie. It just all depends on really how you want to attack the hole. And it looks like Vanessa here, took a driver and hyzered it nicely down the fairway and leaves herself a nice center shot.
Holly lining up the backhand. And that looks like that's going to hyzer. It might take a big skip around the corner. Sarah's lining up her second shot. And this is going to be a tough one because you're not quite lining up for in the landing zone to around the corner. And wow, did she play a really well executed anhyzer around that. Mm-hmm. There's not a big lane from where she was standing. That was a very well played shot.
Yeah, it looks like Lisa has a hyzer shot right towards the basket and skips. That's what you want to do. That's what those righties want to do. They want to skip it in right towards the basket and see if it goes in.
She definitely gave that a run.
She did.
Vanessa's got the same look. Same thing. Skipped it right up to it. Hit the tree right behind it. Left herself a nice putt there. Mm-hmm. Here's Holly after her drive. Coming in high right. Should skip right under the basket as well.
Mm-hmm. About precision on this hole.
And these ladies have played very well on this course overall. It's been very impressive to watch this weekend. Sarah makes a really good shot there. It looks like she's going to be tapping in.
Yeah, these ladies have the basket surrounded. Lisa's up first to make her putt. Just misses right.
Chains.
Holly's next. Great putt. Nice
Holly's
birdie.
in for the birdie.
That's how you play this hole.
She went for it off the drive and left herself a good look at an upshot and was highly rewarded for the risk she took throwing the driver around the corner. Vanessa taking the same path to birdie. Throw it, get around the corner, make a good upshot, make the putt.
I think with these ladies playing L'Oreal Park the weekend before for Women's Nationals, I think it helped them prepare for Stafford Woods. One thing I said when Stafford came in is that it reminded me of a flatter L'Oreal Park. So I think for the ladies to come into this tournament, it set them up really well. And we have here hole 9, a par 3, 301-foot hole. Definitely one of the tightest holes on the course. We call it kind of a bit of a poke and hope. For a righty, you want to kind of anhyzer around these trees. Vanessa went a little bit straight, but kicked her a little bit forward in the fairway.
We've got Holly setting up. And she looks to have put a nice turnover. That looks like that should slide right down the gap, right towards the basket. That is a great shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a tough hole to get around and get through all of these trees. Lisa turned it over just a little bit too much. Landed in the fairway, but that's going to leave her a tough second shot.
Sarah hit the same tree, but kicked to the right. Tough hole.
Mm-hmm. Lisa has the fairway line, but she's going to have to, step out a little bit with the forehand shot to get her around, which she does
a great shot.
So nicely. Wow, that is a great save by Lisa.
That was about a 230-foot turnover down a 5-foot gap that she just pinned.
Can I be like her when I grow up? I want to play as good as her. Now, I knew if Hokom got further enough right, it would leave her this little skinny gap through the woods that is open enough. And she was able to get through and leave herself probably with a circle's edge putt.
Here's Vanessa with a step out forehand.
Looks
up
like
the
she
right
had that
side.
same gap, yeah.
Yeah, up the right side. There is a little backdoor lane over there. If you get in trouble, you have to be in the right spot to be able to shoot up it, though. Looks like she's going to lay up and down, take the smart play, just take your medicine.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough hole. Sarah lining up her long putt.
Oh,
Just off the front of the chains.
Yeah.
That's a great run from a long ways out.
Holly lining up her putt with her great drive. Oh, just a little low.
A little low off the front rim.
Mm-hmm. I just love the focus and determination in their eyes when they're putting. And fortunately, that went a little high and she missed. But, I mean, these girls have this routine down.
Looks like they're all cleaning up here on hole 9. And the ladies have played fantastic here in the third round of the front 9 at the 2019 Stafford Open. The composure that they've been able to maintain on a tough course, they can give you a bogey on any given hole, has been really impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and I mean, you need to set yourself up good on the front 9 because the back 9, I mean, while there are multiple par 3s on the back 9, you know, you have quite a few par 4s and the par 5 that you're going to have to contend with, you know. So after the front 9 on this round 3, you have Sarah at 4 down, Lisa at 1 down, Vanessa and Holly at +5 overall. You know, we thank you for watching this front 9. You know, we look forward to seeing what these ladies can do on the back 9 here at the 2019 Stafford Open. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you for the back 9 coverage.